This. Mm. God bless you. Mary bless you. Mary bless you. Mary bless you. Jesus bless you. Jesus bless you. I bless you. And bless yourself. And in this case, Mother Cabrini bless you. And bless us, Mother Cabrini. And thanks. I want to welcome Jesus and everybody else into the live. All good spirits. I want to welcome all good spirits into the live. And bless everybody fighting against the bad guys, against Trumpism. And we will win. So, I want to do another hopeful stream, a little extra hopeful today, and a little extra about the Church of Judas, because of a wonderful experience I had this morning when I woke up and saw Don Lemon live streaming the protests entering the church in Minneapolis. It just seemed like a historic moment and a turning point, religious turning point for Christianity, and a Judas moment, a moment that represents what the Church of Judas will do regarding replacing all the churches, changing all the Trumpy churches into Jesus churches. So, looking forward to that. And we'll start with the Trumpy churches, really all the churches. But the Trumpy churches show the necessity of it and show why we should be replacing the churches as soon as possible. So looking forward to that personally, and hopefully you are as well. But I'll be looking forward to you in the near future to begin with. So, sorry, we're having a little bit of cat troubles here for a minute. But thanks for being here. Welcome to the Church of Judas. We'll be replacing all the other Christian churches. So, one good sign of that was this morning, and I was very encouraged by that. And I'll tell you all about it. Maybe you already know about it. I saw it from a Don Lemon live stream where the protest had shut down the church. Well, the protest had just entered the church, and then I guess the church people couldn't handle the accountability of people who knew the truth and knew Jesus. And so they left, and Don Lemon, I think, interviewed the pastor, who's also apparently some type of ICE agent or ICE administrator. So that was awkward for him and awesome for Don Lemon. And of course, I could just tell by Don Lemon's other content I saw later today that, people were trying to make some type of big deal out of it, or trying to act like it was something it wasn't. And so he's just like explaining himself. I'm a journalist. Of course, he was explaining himself in the video at the time I was watching him, because he was like, I'm a journalist. But it's just nice to see this, like, symbolically and actually representing the a change in Christianity, or a challenge to Christianity from the truth, from Jesus himself. So very excited to see this development in the real world. Something I've been talking about, but just kind of anticipating for years and years, but really nice to see it actually happening. So thanks to Don Lemon and Lemon Nation and the Don Lemon team for making the live broadcast possible. Oh yeah, and I wanted to mention there were 13,000 people watching it. When I tuned in, there were 13,000 people. So it was pretty, it was, as far as I remember, more activity on his channel than I've ever seen before, as far as the speed of the chat going by, and just, 13,000 people. I don't remember a number of people I've seen on there before, but anyway, it was nice to see this church basically shut down. And I feel kind of petty when I think about it, because when I was talking about this in the live stream I was doing this morning, I was thinking about how, they'll probably get all this money from like GoFundMe's or whatever from all the attention that they'll get from being protested for being an ICE pastor, an ICE preacher. They'll probably make a bunch of money from it, but I was like, well, who cares if they make a bunch of money from those people? That doesn't make them okay, I guess is one way to put it. That doesn't mean they won the situation. I think the exposure, the conversation, the way people are inevitably or have to talk about Jesus and Jesus's opposition to this evil kidnapping and stuff is going to be certainly a victory for the protesters, for the people, for Jesus, for the goddess, for all good spirits. So anyway, welcome to the live. Talking about replacing Christianity and winning against Trump and Trumpism. Liquid Denmark is here. Hello, Liquid Denmark. Thank you for being here. Liquid Denmark says Jesus was black. Thanks for being here. So welcome to the Church of Judas. We're replacing all the patriarchy, Christianity, war, and Trumpism. And this comes about through replacing their churches, which we saw like a natural example of today when Don Lemon was live streaming the protests that shut down the church in Minneapolis that apparently has a preacher who was an ICE agent or an ICE administrator or something. And so I was very proud to see that. I was very blessed, I think, fortunate, lucky. I had the right timing to see that live this morning. Just knowing it was like a historical moment, like something that'll be in the history books, if any. Or Brow, and Judas was Dracula. Or Brown, probably. I think you meant or Brow. What is this thing about Judas and Dracula? I keep hearing references like that, but I've never really heard that before. Is the idea that Judas lived forever? What's the idea behind that? Would you mind explaining that? Because I feel like I'm supposed to be the expert on Judas, but a lot of times when I'm talking about Judas, people tell me about mention Dracula. And I don't understand exactly what the connection is. But yeah, this is the Church of Judas. Welcome. Goddess bless you, Mary bless you, Mary bless you, Mary bless you, Mary bless you, Jesus bless you, Jesus bless you, I bless you, bless yourself. So, we're going to overthrow Trumpism, end war and patriarchy and Christianity. So, today seemed kind of like a holiday for it. I don't understand why that's the discussion of the chat. Can you hear, is it the volume on this on? Am I just like moving my mouth and there's a candle burning? Sometimes the volume doesn't go on my chat. I've been live for like 9 minutes. Can you guys hear anything I'm saying? Is the volume on? Is anything I'm saying making it through to you? Can you hear any of this? Wonder if my cat knows the difference. So we're going to end Trumpism. We're going to end war. We're going to end patriarchy. We're going to end Christianity. Replace all that with the Church of Judas. It's a pretty easy fix. I can tell you all about it. Unless you can't hear what I'm saying. Can you hear what I'm saying? Hello and welcome. No, I can't hear you say, can anyone hear me? Because Dracula is, okay, I was really looking forward to this. Thank you. Because Dracula is weak against the cross. Okay. It's the explanation of why Dracula is weak against the cross. Now, before I read the end of your sentence, let me just tell you, I always thought that the reason Dracula was supposed to be weak against the cross was because Dracula was supposed to represent like an unholy, like an anti-holiness, like maybe demonic or maybe possessed or something, or part of an evil spirit or something that was considered unholy. And that's why Dracula didn't like the cross. But let me read your comment and see what it says. Because Dracula is weak against the cross, because he was responsible for Jesus being hanged on the cross. He's weak against silver, because he was paid in silver for betraying Jesus. So Dracula is Judas, basically. Or the spirit that makes Dracula's Judas. That's very interesting. Did vampires claim Judas as a patron? Do you happen to know that? Is that a thing? No, see, I'm Church of Judas because of the Gospel of Judas. I'll explain that in a minute. I want to hear if you have any more to say about Dracula. So as it turns out, Judas didn't betray Dracula. Sorry. Judas didn't betray Jesus. Nobody betrayed Dracula, did they? Judas didn't betray Jesus. Jesus asked him to do it, right? That makes it okay. Right? If it was a secret. If Jesus asked him to do it, but it was a secret, then it's okay, right? But he also said, your secret will be revealed hundreds of years later. What's OMG? The Dracula Judas stuff? It's interesting, though, the way he says it will be revealed hundreds of years later. He says, your side of the story will be told hundreds of years later, and your church will replace other churches. And that, to me, is the part that we need to get to now, for one thing, and that protest this morning was a good example of, for another. But it also suggests, where did Judas, what is Jesus telling him? You'll be around to see this? You'll come back to see this? You'll never die? You'll keep coming back? Hello, Carissa. Nice to see you. Thanks for coming in. So, what do y'all think? What is the secret there? Or what's your instinct? Or what do you want to talk about? If you don't want to talk about, like, eternal life and reincarnation or spirits that don't ever die like Dracula, what do you guys want to talk about? I'm older than both of you two, but Dracula has never existed. What is that supposed to mean? Just because you're super old doesn't mean that, like, you know everybody really, really old. That's like oldest. It's basically like Cain. Because he introduced murder into this world, he's punished that he himself can never die. So where is Cain running around now? Is there a collection of these baddies who can't die and they run around? Vlad the Impaler. Yeah, Dracula, supposedly, right? And so who are these people? I'm not even trying to say they're bad, because, for one, if you could never die, when you eventually figure out that, like, being nice to people is better than being mean to people? What if Cain just has to take on different personalities? What if Jesus was one of Cain's personalities? And he tricked people into saying he could never die. I mean, he could never die, so he tricked people into thinking they killed him because he couldn't die. I mean, wouldn't you play some tricks like that if one of your superpowers was you could never die? Wouldn't you sometimes fool some people with that? Just saying. Well, thanks for explaining that, Liquid Denmark. If God exists, then yes, Cain should also exist. Well, what if God's a lie, but a lot of the stories are still true? They just came up with God to replace the goddess who's really responsible. Bottom of the morning to you, Eve. Nice to see you again. Thanks for coming back. That's interesting. We actually have 3 or 4 people. I think we have 4 people who are capable of conversation. All 4 people that are listed in the count are all capable of conversation, like intelligent people. This has got to be a first. I was kind of hoping for this. So thanks, Jesus. Thanks, everybody, for making this happen. Of course, God is alive, but still a good story. But what about the goddess? Do you believe in the goddess? It's easy to say God is a lie. God's a bunch of bullshit. But what about the goddess? What do you think about the goddess? Personal opinions, welcome. Not just Liquid Denmark, anybody. What does anybody think about the goddess? Tell me all your thoughts on agnosticism, 'cause I'd really like to meet him. Which goddess? Any of them. What's the first goddess that comes to mind when I say the goddess? I feel like I know the answer for you because it almost came to mind for me, but I can't remember the name. Of course God is alive, but still a good story. There's a lot of good stories. I want to talk about the goddess, even if it's just a good story you have about the goddess. Yemaya, yeah. Yemaya? I've asked you this before. I'm sorry I don't remember. Yeah. So, it's easy to say that God is fake because God has all sorts of issues. God is all sorts of problematic. But the nice thing about the goddess is all those problems are God's problems. That same God denies the existence of the goddess. So it's not the goddess's fault. Kind of like Judas wasn't part of any of the churches. So it's not Judas's fault. It's not Judas's fault in any of the things the churches did. African water goddess. Yemaya. I don't know this story. Tell us, oh great one. What story? I thought we were all weaving this story together because we were just talking about goddess. Yeah, believe in evolution? Of course, yeah. Do you believe in conscious evolution? God doesn't know anything. God's a lie. We established before you came in that God wasn't true. I mean, you guys can still debate this if you want. But I was going to say that God isn't true. I was going to go ahead and move on to asking you guys about the goddess. So far, Chrissy, I like calling you Chrissy because your name says Kissy, and I want to call you Carissa, but then I feel like I should call you Kissy, and I get stuck in between. God complex. Crazy. Why are you sitting with that picture? I feel like we as humans aren't, this is Yeef. I feel like we as humans aren't equipped with the mental fortitude to fully grasp what any type of God would be. To believe in or against it strongly feels like hubris. Okay, then just to that point, why not try to pick like a more manageable God that you can comprehend? A smaller God, if you will. Like Papa Smurf or Smurfette. A smaller God. Is that easier for you to imagine if Smurfette? Talk about just a goddess that exists in Smurfette. Tell us the story of the goddess. Well, I can tell you like what I think of as the story of the goddess. I always think that when hearing anything about God, the God complex. Why would you do that? Okay, I'll tell you a story of the goddess. Okay? At 2020. So, what's goddess though? I don't know what simp. I don't know what a simp is. I don't speak into libertarian. Okay, this is like a goddess right here. This is a story of Saint Teresa. Sorry, Saint Teresa Urea is like another goddess. This is Mother Cabrini. This is Saint Francis Xavier Cabrini. I love that her name is Saint Francis Xavier. And that it could be on purpose, or it could be a magical coincidence that Francis Xavier is also the name of Professor X, I believe. I don't even know what that means. I don't speak into libertarians. I don't know what alpha means. I don't know what based means. I don't know what simp means. I don't know any of those words mean because I don't talk to libertarians. I don't talk to libertarians. I don't talk to insa-libertarians in like anything other than arguments. So I don't understand their words. I don't know what their words mean. If you want to explain what their words mean, we could have that conversation. But I feel like I was talking about something else. Oh yeah, I was going to tell you the story of the goddess. So if the goddess got replaced by God, and God's fake, but the goddess is real, then the story of the goddess is basically, hey, get through the fake bullshit to the real goddess, and then things will be good. You'll be reconnected with the goddess. And as it is, people get disconnected from the goddess by God, and then people get disconnected from God. But it's like God is already a disconnection, but then what they're holding out for you is that if you become connected in any way to anything divine, they'll call that thing God, and it'll be fake and keep you from connecting to the goddess because you're caught up in some bullshit. I'm not well versed religious, man, but I knew though that taking the Lord's name in vain is a saying that is often misunderstood. It's not saying God damn it, rather it's speaking for God recklessly. Oh, that's interesting. That's a good take. Simp has nothing to do with libertarianism. Incels, though, right? See, I think incels and libertarians happen to be the same thing. That's why I call them incel-libertarians. My grandma was a pagan witch in England in 1965. I'm not joking. I'm a pagan witch in America in 2025. I'm not joking. It's interesting that's your grandma, though. When my dad was born, I simp over you when you're devoted to someone you're really into them. Oh. I mean, I kind of figured that out from context, but what's it mean? Like, what's it short for? Jessica Simpson? The Simpsons? Why do they say it? Why are there certain words? That word, based, most words people get from black people, right? In America, if you're going to say words, it's because black people said them like 20 and 50 years ago. And then you're going to start saying them because you found out what they were. That's like how words work in America. But simp and based and what's the other one? Alpha? Those don't seem like words that black people were saying. They seem like some words that some dorky white douchebags were saying. And they said them enough on the internet that other people said them. I'm not making fun of everybody who says them. I'm just saying, isn't that where those words came from? That's why I said I don't speak into libertarian. Geeking, I don't really know about that. But you know what I'm saying? It's those three words in particular. Tell me if I'm wrong. Didn't those words come from like the manosphere? Didn't they come from like Joe Rogan and shit? You're a pancreas. What side am I? Guess my sign. Carissa, you can't guess because you know what it is. Everybody else can guess my sign. Okay. Bless you guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks for not being trolls. It's nice to see people in the chat who can talk about stuff. I used to geek hard until I took an arrow to the knee. See, I don't even get that. It seems like it's some type of like Greek mythology reference. Well, it's nice to have smart people in the chat, even if you're smarter than me about some things. That's cool. I like to learn things. She's a pagan because of the Asher brought the pagan religion. The Asher? What's the Asher? Brought the pagan religion to England. Yeah, my ex is a famous witch. She used to converse with Raymond Buckland, who brought witchcraft to America in a large, like European witchcraft to America in a large way. Definitely not. Libertarianism is political, philosophical view. I know, but they're all the same thing. Libertarians are douchebags. Incels are douchebags. They're the exact same people. That's why I call them incel libertarians. I know it's political and like whatever manosphere stuff, but like those are the same thing. They just act like it's not in order to trick people. Sorry. Something happened to my nose. Hold on. I'll let Mother Cabrina read your comments. They better be good comments. Y'all are going to be in trouble with the nun. I'm just joking. You're not going to be in trouble. Everybody here is really good. Peak geeking? Is it just like nerd? Is it just like being a nerd? Is it just like nerding out on things? I found out I'm a radical centrist. You're not, though. You just want to stay focused on fixing issues. Avoid the bickering between sides. Dude, that's... You can't go around saying things like that. Like, it's 2026. I'm spelling it wrong, but pagan religion was a big part of the Nordic mythology. Oh, the Asher? Dude, pagans like everything. People are magic everywhere. There's just magic people everywhere. There always have been. Always will be. It's really interesting to know which, different traditions and different practices and stuff happen in different places. But it's everybody. Just keep in mind it's everyone. Oh, yeah. You have the same face as you. We have the same face. Oh, that's that Mongoloid person. I think I'm going to block the Trumpers so we don't have to deal with them because they never contribute anything worthwhile. They're just going to spoil the mood. Since I bother having to block them, then I'm just going to go ahead and block them for a whole day. Okay, let's do it now then. Why don't you be somebody who you think has something to contribute from the other side as me? And tell me what you think that contribution is. I'll tell you why you're wrong. And why we don't need that contribution or to compromise with that contribution. And that'll disprove your theory. You ready? Go. And go. I don't need to always be right, but right's right. Like, the truth is the truth, so go ahead. Dude, I'm going Sith on you then if that's if that's what you're afraid of. If you're afraid of the words that I'm about to tell you. So what's the thing that the right has to contribute that's worthwhile in any way whatsoever? Anything. Human sacrifice is a pagan tradition. And in Nordic mythology, they made human sacrifice to honor their Nordic gods. I mean, that's great, I guess. Unless you just like, unless people try to justify murder today with those types of ideas. That would be weird. Ooh, Russia. Russia, I guess. I mean, honestly, that's a tough question. But why don't you throw USA in the mix? They asked, well, who's worse, Israel or Russia? Hold on, let's pin that question so everybody can answer. But, yeah, why wouldn't you include USA in the question? It's a tough question already. Wait, can't tell Krista she's wrong about what? What must you do? Oh, yeah, I challenge you to present an idea from the right that's actually valuable or should be compromised with or considered in any way. Like, I imagine something you believe in or consider considerable, consider acceptable in some way, like borders or something. Like, I don't know, throw one out there. Throw out an idea you think is okay. We'll destroy it. We can use the folks. We can use the right folks. Ooh, I was thinking of ways we can use the right folks. The folks on the right or the right people? Like the people you want. Like the pronouns of right. Oh, how you can use them. No, I don't know. They're all dorks, right? Like, I saw one the other day in a video. He was like, thanks for not running over us with your car. Like, you could tell he kind of like, he was being nice. I guess he was kind of being a dick, but he was kind of being nice. That's what I'm saying. They're not cute, but I'm saying, exactly, I'm a dork too, but I'm saying they're dorks. They're just like fucking losers. I don't mean that as dorks we're losers. I mean, they're the types of dorks who are just total losers. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you don't. These ICE agents, dude, they're just losers. You know? Like they're kind of a special brand of losers. Like the people that lost on getting into the police department. They're that kind of losers. Because they weren't smart enough. Most people don't get into the police department because they're not dumb enough. They didn't get into the police department because they weren't smart enough. Okay. Well, all countries are worse. This is Liquid Denmark. Well, all countries are worse right now. They all think they are right when they are wrong, and that makes them all dangerous. How can you say that about all countries? Imagine there's so many different countries. I imagine some countries have like really different philosophies than the way we think of most countries being. No, Shiny Wizard, I wasn't cursing anyone now because we didn't have any Nazis in the chat. We had one Nazi and I muted him, so then we didn't have to worry about the Nazis anymore. Trump-Putiners. Eve says, here's one for you to debate. Universal basic income. Let's have it. That's not a right idea, though. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's a left idea. I don't know if you thought I was on the right, but, like, I thought you were going to present a right idea. An idea from the right. I'm going to read the rest of your comment, but, I mean, yeah, universal basic income. Give people free money. Free healthcare, free food, free housing, free education. Like, that's just socialism. I'm all for that. I didn't curse you, Carissa. Here's one for you to debate. Universal basic income, UBI. This is YEEF. Radical economic proposals for guaranteed income debated for feasibility and impact on work incentives. Okay, I'll tell you the answer. It's not really, I don't think there's much of a debate here. Yes, universal basic income. Yes, people will only go to work to jobs that they want to do. If nobody wants to do that job, That's where you need to make a robot the fastest. It's fucking simple, dude. It's not hard. If it's some sewer cleaner jobs, I mean, some people want to be sewer cleaners. But if you're really hard to find anybody to pay them to be a sewer cleaner, make a robot to be the sewer cleaner. Done and done. It only takes 6 minutes to become an ICE agent. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. It's like an online form or something. Do they like pick you up? Like as soon as you apply, do they come pick you up in the van, like to make sure you don't back out? They're faster than the police to get to your house. They like pick you up in the van 6 minutes after you think. Oh wait, Shiny Wizard says he is a hate-filled madman. Are we talking about Israel or Russia? Are we talking about Putin or Netanyahu? When you said he is a hate-filled madman, are you answering the question? Talking about Putin or Netanyahu? Green Eagle VR says Jesus loves you. Hey everybody. Green Eagle VR just swooped through and said, Jesus loves you. We were at this ritual, the Pagan Pride Festival in Denver, and this eagle flew by. It was pretty cool. Like we were in a giant circle doing the opening ritual, and we were like facing the inner side. We're all facing in the center of the circle, and then we all turned around to face the outer side of the circle. And as we were turning around, this eagle flew right by. Like if this candle ring was the circle of witches standing around, this eagle flew like right by this, right as we turned around, it flew right by our face. It's pretty awesome. I saw an eagle just today. I took a video of it, but I don't think I've uploaded it yet, so don't bother looking for it yet. Anyway, eagles flying. Shiny Wizard has a problem with the Nazis. That's good. So you'll run off all the MAGA Nazis that come into chat. Thanks. As long as you're going to run off the MAGA Nazis because you're going to be on Nazi patrol. Thank you. Good job for being here. Of course you want free money, Dick Johnson says. You don't want to work. Who wants to work? Most of the Western world has affordable health care. Good point, taco lovers. Like everybody has health care, I think, besides us. You don't even have lights. Or just go clean the sewers so you cannot be homeless. Go take the 6-minute test to get the job done at ICE. No, I'm not a fascist. I'm not a kidnapper. Dick, I can just meet him. We don't need to talk to the Nazis. Pagan Pride Festival. Who did you sacrifice? It's like, that's not what pagan means. Like, just because you know something about, what did you say, Nordic ancestors you have, and like how way back in the day they might have had sacrifices. I don't know that they did, but that's what you said. That doesn't represent pagans. Like pagans aren't Nordic. I mean, I'm not saying that Nordics aren't pagans, but pagans aren't all Nordic. It's like saying, Snickers and candy. Like, yeah, candy. Not all candy is Snickers. Yeah, Snickers is a candy, but not all candy is a Snickers. So everybody's a pagan according to, depends on which Christians you ask. The rest of Christians are a bunch of pagans too. According to some Christians, all the other Christians are pagan. It's just like, pagan is just an umbrella term. They're in a hard taco shell? Oh, they're the taco lovers. Donica Putinsky and his daddy Vladdy are the taco lovers. I call him BJT. I call him Donica Putinsky. I know there's a lot of funny names for him, but the ones I made up are BJT and Donica Putinsky. Obviously, I just made those names up about 2 months ago. But I love other people's names for him, too. He's such a loser. And he's such a terrible, terrible person. And he's the Antichrist. So, much hated here on this channel. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the reactions. Well done, reactor. You're like some type of nuclear reactor. Thanks for reacting. Thanks for being here. Thanks for finding the reaction buttons. Reactions are so exciting. It like makes it feel a little bit like TikTok. Not a lot. And YouTube never feels that much like TikTok. But it makes it feel a little bit like TikTok, and it's so sweet. How do you follow Jesus, be a witch at the same time? How do you not? And I'll take that as a serious question. Well, so there's a lot of people that do that, and I'm not going to speak for everybody. There's a lot of Christian witches. I'm not a Christian witch. There's a lot of Christian witches. And there's a lot of different types of Christian witches. There's so many answers to your question that I could go through and name like 10 or 15 different varieties and options for answering your question that don't apply to me directly. So that's just to say there's lots of ways. You can be a Christian witch or a follower of Jesus and a witch. You can be there's all sorts of different types of witches. But there's a lot of witches that do, okay, have you heard of Santeria or voodoo? That's all Christian witchcraft, basically. It's all within a Christian, or Christian adjacent pantheon. But only because people had an original tradition and Christians came in and colonized them and made like a Christian overlay of their religion. But like Papa Legba of voodoo is Peter, as far as I know. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I can't speak for all the ways you can be a Christian and a witch, but the way that I'm a Christian and a witch is I was raised a Christian, but I quit it because it seemed wrong. But I still believed in Jesus. Like everybody. Think about how many people there are in churches. Not that many. Think about how many people used to be in churches, or their families used to be in churches, or for whatever reason, they believe in Jesus, but they don't go to church. They're not part of any church. Fucking lots of people. A lot more than are in churches. So, yeah, and a lot of those people are witches. And that's pretty much the category I'm in. So how being a witch does you in prison? What? See how being a witch does you in prison? You're a wanted man with warrants. I think you must have me confused with somebody else. It's not very bright in here by this candlelight. This guy's drive. Dude, I have so much drive, you wouldn't even believe it. They better take a look on Trump's drive. Well, you guys know about Sasha Riley, right? You guys are, oh, dude, we're at 43 minutes. We're going to have to shut down the live in 15 minutes. You guys know about Sasha Riley, right? This is a small channel. What are you talking about? This guy seems to be projecting something. Let me take a look at his channel activity. He joined 5 years ago. He has 1 subscriber. He has 1 subscriber. He joined 5 years ago. Should we just mute the MAGAs? Okay. That's because I'm thinking of pagan heathens. What were you thinking about pagan heathens? TikTok drama? Okay, do we have any more good questions? I'm going to mute the Nazis. It's a good opportunity to mute Nazis so that they don't get to talk for at least a day. I don't know. I feel like leaving that Nazi. Because we're not going to be live that much longer anyway. Yeah, they're never worth anything. They're always a distraction. Okay. He has a whole bunch of random videos of clouds and Christmas lights. Well, yeah, who doesn't have that? Who isn't a Christian witch who isn't a witch who believes in Jesus and who doesn't have a bunch of videos of clouds and Christmas lights? Do you believe Satan is evil? Okay, I believe Trump is evil. Okay, I believe Trump and Putin and Netanyahu are evil. When I said that, which one did you think of as Satan the most? I think of Trump as the Antichrist. Putin has a nuclear bomb named Satan. Why did this person just ask the same? Did I just not explain how you can be a Christian and a witch? Didn't I just talk about that for 5 minutes? Can you guys, is the audio on this thing? Can you guys hear what I'm saying? I don't. I do have a bunch of videos of Chance, though. You should post more videos on your YouTube channel, especially with a cute dog like that. I should do the same thing. I have a super cute dog. Donica Putinsky owes China a ton of money. Huh, wonder why. I thought he owed Putin. I always thought that Trump was just working for Putin. Now, China seems to be in a position to have stopped Putin, but they didn't. So that makes you think that China is kind of running Putin, which is kind of the worst thing I can think of China doing. Running Putin / allowing Putin to run. That was Sunset. I can't read it. Sunset Sherbsky. Sunset Sherbsky said Donica owes China a ton of money. Dan Man says Allah Akbar. Akbar. Is that right? Okay, Liquid Denmark says Lucifer actually loves humans, but he hates that God loves them more than him. And he's like the angel of jealousy or something. Angel of jealousy. Angel of envy or something. I don't know. People can calm down. I never asked Lucifer for anything. I can't tell if there's a bug or just some type of hair or something in the candle. But yeah, so Jesus set Judas aside to replace all patriarchy, Christianity, war, and Trumpism. Okay? Jesus knew what the future was going to hold. So he said, hey, Judas, you're not going to be part of any of the churches. All the churches are going to hate you, and you're not going to have anything to do with them. Why? Because they're all going to treat you like you killed me or something. They're all going to scapegoat you. And the empires that are going to use these religions are going to allow everybody to scapegoat you, Judas, so that they don't have to take the blame for their actions. Everybody be looking for the Judas in their midst, when the one who's betrayed humanity are all these evil systems. And Judas never betrayed Jesus. But as it turns out, all these other churches end up betraying Jesus's instructions and goals and wishes. And Jesus knew they were going to do it. So he said, I'm going to set Judas aside, hated by all these churches, outside of all the evils that they do, so that when he comes back, he has the full authority as the disciple who never did any of that stuff or contributed to any of it, any of the wars or crusades or colonizing or kidnappings or any of that stuff. And Judas comes back and replaces it all. Replaces all the other churches. So that's the nutshell version of the Church of the Gospel of Judas. So hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for being here. Lucifer is probably sexy with a big, loving heart. I mean, according to that Fox show, I don't know. I don't have any problems with Lucifer. I'm not like Lucifer, Satan, like, I don't know. They seem like some type of bad angel or something. I don't know. I got bigger fish to fry. Like, if that is Trump and Putin, then yeah, fuck them. But if it's not Trump and Putin, like, they're not that bad, right? Like, you know, like, it's kind of like a rose by any other name, well, a diaper on Donica Putinsky is still gonna smell like shit. So, yeah. Like, yeah, if Lucifer is Trump or Putin and Netanyahu, then fuck him. If he's associated with them or responsible for them, then fuck him. Fuck Lucifer. But if he's not, then I don't have nearly as much of a problem with him as I have with Trump and Putin and Netanyahu. I was picturing not them. Oh, I'm sorry. I ruined your Lucifer fantasy. Okay. Liquid Denmark says, Lucifer hates that God thinks that humans mean more to God than his first children, the angel. I don't know. That sounds like a bunch of projection on my part. I mean, honestly, like maybe, or that's just some bullshit some men came up with to project some bullshit. Because I don't know. That seems like, really? You're just petty? Like you're the angel of jealousy and pettiness? Like that just doesn't sound like light bringing or powerful or anything. It doesn't seem like, it just seems weak as fuck, honestly. It seems like human weakness. So are angels really even like this? Lucifer hates that God thinks that humans mean more to God than his first children, the angel. Lucifer's name is also known as the morning star, which is a reference to the light bringer, not bringer of darkness. Yeah, I mean, I get all that. Like, I know Satanists and all this stuff. Like, does it matter? Like, isn't Satanism just a reaction to the fact that Christianity is bullshit? Whatever form of Satanism you have, isn't it just a reaction to the fact that Christianity is bullshit? Well, if Jesus is also a reaction to the fact that Christianity is bullshit, then maybe there's some. Plus, Lucifer was God's most beautiful of all his children. I mean, I can't buy that. I'm not gay. Like, I would say, no, I think this girl angel is probably hotter than Lucifer. Sorry. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's all human shit. Like, why is what humans had to say about some angel worth the fucking shit to us? And did we mention earlier in the life that God is fake? If that God is fake, there could be a whole lot about that God that's fake, including all their angel stories. Now, there's a whole angel story in the Gospel of Judas where Jesus is talking to Judas about Sacklus and Nebro, the rebel, and Blood or something are the names of these angels. And, I don't understand it. It seems pretty serious. It's not Lucifer, but they could mean the same thing. I don't know if you care about that stuff. The long and short of that, though, is he says, these angels appoint 6 evil angels, 3 each. 6 stars, he calls them. 6 evil stars. And they rule over the earth for a period of time. And then that period of time comes to an end. This is probably just like planet evolution stuff. Like alien race knows how many stages a planet goes through before you're conscious and you can have interstellar travel and shit. It's probably just that. Probably not even that big a fucking deal. Anyway, just some alien time traveler stuff. It's not even that big of a deal. I said what in the butt. I said what? You wanna do it in my butt? In my butt? You do it in my butt? In my butt? You wanna do it in my butt? In my butt? Okay. I don't worship Satan, but I understand having brothers and sisters, and your parents love them more than the others. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's a human thing. And we're not even brothers and sisters with the angels. According to their own story, we're not their little brothers. Their other angels are their brothers and sisters, right? I just want to have the Holy Spirit come and do some naughty things to me while I sleep. Me too. I think that would be Lilith. I think Lilith gets the most credit for giving people their sexy dreams. Thanks, Lilith. I've had a few in my life. Could use more. I guess we're going to repin the comment for the last 3 minutes of the live. This was a good live, though. Thank you guys for being here. I have to remember that just blocking one or two trolls every now and then is good. Was God evil when he killed all those firstborn children or drowned most humanity? Well, didn't we talk earlier about how that God is fake? A fake God is evil. What's the point of a fake God? A fake God is just blocking you from the goddess, or a real God, if you want to call it that. But a fake God is just blocking you from the goddess. So a fake God's going to do a bunch of fake God shit. And that's how they justify a bunch of bullshit. So by saying, oh yeah, this fake God did it. And we're going to say it's good because God did it. It's like saying, well, Trump did it because it's okay, so it's okay. Or when they kill somebody, it's okay. When somebody else kills somebody, it's bad. No, that's not how it works. Like, killing people is bad. It doesn't make it okay because they did it. Raping all these kids and stuff, raping these kids and killing these kids is bad. And it doesn't make it okay that Trump did it. So, no, it's bad. Yeah, that God's fake and evil. The God of Israel is obviously fake and evil. Look what he's letting them do in Israel right now. It's a fake, evil God. That could have had something to do with what Jesus showed up for in the first place, to replace a fake and evil God. And the fact that Jesus is from the goddess, not God, well, it's like that was too much for the people of the time and the people since then. Jesus personally knew it was going to take 2,000 years for people to be able to handle the concept of the goddess again after, however long and however entrenched their God bullshit was. So let's be on the same page and continue this conversation again in the future. We can do another one in 10 minutes if you want. I'll smoke a bowl, but I'll probably just go to sleep. Unless y'all want to do it again. Ha. Oh, the coward Nazi is streaming again. Hold on, I have to read Joel Phoenix in Russian because he's a fucking stupid-ass Nazi Russian Trump Putineer troll. Ha. Oh, the coward Nazi is streaming again. Still waiting on all those curses to do something. Or at least a date you keeping claiming that all of us will regret. LOL. All of us, dude, there's one of you in here now. Everybody else in here is cool. You're a Nazi piece of shit, so I'm going to curse you. Curse you in Judas's name. Curse Trump and Putin and Netanyahu through you. That's the important thing. You don't exist for any other purpose than you're a conduit for a curse. You're taking this curse back to Trump and Putin and Netanyahu and maybe some other asshole I never even heard of before, like Greg Biffle and his entire family on the way. You dumb fuck. So yeah, cursing you. I'm cursing Trump and Putin and Netanyahu. Fuck you, you Nazi piece of shit. You'll feel it this time. All right. Liquid Denmark says, but last say he was real, and he's the one who's truly evil, wasn't Lucifer. Right to stand up against him? No belief, just thinking. But last say he was real, and he's the one who's truly evil. Wasn't Lucifer, right? I mean, I'm not sure if I understand what your question is. My impression of like Lucifer calling out the hypocrisy of God is like God told them not to bow to any other creature besides himself, and then he created man. He's like, now bow to that. And they were like, that's hypocritical, or that you've changed in a way that I don't appreciate or respect or something. But I mean, again, it's like, who gives a fuck? Okay, your God is a dick. Again, maybe your God was fake and your God was somehow made you feel this way, but he wasn't your creator to begin with. He just hijacked some shit. The goddess was the creator. You list any new FBI info visits. Glued to this and hope you live stream them again. You would have been a better Russian than Sean Connery in Red October. I would love to try to do some Red October quotes, but I got to shut the live down. I'll talk to you guys soon, or do you guys want to go live again? I might see you in a few minutes.